Okay, James, before we start fishing then, would you like to show me how to put the pole together?
Yeah, sure. Well, to start with, Trev, we're going to fish with the long pole, which, as we discussed in the previous videos, is a take-apart pole. Now we're going to fish it at 8 metres. So basically we've got 4 main sections. And the first thing you've got to do is obviously take the sections out. And this is where I like to paste them on my rod bag. And just to bring it down to the absolute basics, a put-over pole comprises of all of the sections and they're put over. So you've got the male section and the female section. And this is probably the most efficient style of joint system. You can have put in, which helps to achieve a slimmer pole, but the joints don't work as easily. A bit more, specialised.
For me, being able to see where I'm putting the pole into the sections also works.
So quite simply, we're going to just assemble the pole up to 8 metres. Now you'll notice I'm not really forcing the sections in because we want to be able to take the sections off easily during fishing and we don't want to get the sections stuck. So I'm just applying it with firm pressure, but I'm not forcing the joints together. Okay, right up to the butt section. So that's the main part of the pole assembled. We talked about the top kits and we've got them ready to go. So I've got the 2 different top kits now with 2 different rigs. So we've got the dibber rig and the pellet rig. So that's going to complete the pole that we're going to be using today.
Okay, just briefly then, James, we've talked about the put over pole.
Yeah.
Now, in some of the earlier videos, we were talking about a whip.
Yeah.
How does that differ?
Well, I think we're going to have a go at whip fishing later, and you're right, it's fundamentally different. Remember, this is a telescopic pole, so you don't put the joints together, you actually telescope out the sections.
Okay, so you pull them out and
because,
that makes a fixed length.
Yeah, because we're going to be using the same length of line as the pole, there's no need to ship in and out the whip. So this is fishing at its most basic. You're just going to be lifting in and casting out.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll have a go at that later. Let's concentrate on the long pole first. So the next thing to talk about is actually shipping the pole in and out. So I'll just briefly show you how to do that. Now it's important to mention again about the fishing position. You'll notice that my legs are straight whilst I'm sat on the box.
Okay.
You don't want to be sat too high on the box because it's going to make fishing with the pole very awkward. So I've got everything in the correct position. So when I'm going to start fishing, I've got to ship out the rig to the distance that I want to fish. So I'll simply underarm the rig out, okay, add the top kit onto the pole and then ship it out. Now you can see I'm doing this very slowly and smoothly to start with, because when the pole comes off the roller you suddenly get the full weight of the pole and you don't want any jagged movements because it can cause a tangle.
Okay.
So I'm shipping the pole out nice and gently. The pole comes off the roller and then I continue to ship out the pole to the end. Okay? Then it's just a simple case of lowering the rig into the water to the position that we want to fish. So that's what we call shipping out the pole. Now there's a couple of ways that you can actually hold the pole, and I'd recommend for a beginner, particularly if you're using a heavier pole like a glass pole we talked about, to actually fish in this way, so that you're holding the pole across your legs and your rear arm here, in this case my right hand, is actually supporting the weight of the pole, but I'm pivoting it across my legs. Okay. I'm not holding the pole, because if you were to hold the pole like that all day it'd be very tiring and hard work. So I'm using my body to take the strain of the bulk of the pole.
Okay.
And then I'm guiding the pole backwards and forwards with both my hands in that manner. So I've shipped the pole out, place the rig in the water. So I get a bite, I strike, I've got the fish. Now I need to bring the pole in. So I'm going to ship the pole in. You can see that I'm using my front hand here to stabilise the pole, and my rear hand is actually doing most of the work. So I've got to smoothly guide the pole over the pole roller, gently onto the pole roller and then back. So I'm bringing the pole back to the top kit where I can remove the top kit, and then I'm either going to land the fish by swinging it in or netting it, or I'm going to swing my rig in if I want to change the depth or if I want to change my bait.
Okay.
So that's the process, very, very simple, of shipping out and shipping back the pole.
Okay, well you've made that look very easy, James, I must admit. See if it's the same when we're actually in action. So you've got your float out there, plumbing the depth.
Well, that's the next section we're going to look at, plumbing the depth.